Hi, my name's Ted Galloway. Welcome to my office. I have a story to tell about the Woodstock Festival in 1969. My involvement in music started years before that with the influence of my grandfather, George Perryman, who manufactured his own radio tubes after working with Thomas Edison. He perfected the creating of a vacuum and built his own plant to manufacture his own tubes. And at the height of the Depression, he sold his patents to David Sarnoff at RCA. And through the Depression, RCA's stock kept climbing, and so did George Perryman's fortunes. He gave me a gift of a crystal radio set that I put together and took under the covers of my bed at night and listened to broadcasts from around the world. And around the same time, when I was in elementary school, my mother hosted a calypso band who was playing in New York City. I met the leader of the band, Archie Talbot, who taught me how to play two different notes out of a Coke bottle. Eventually, I was a lead vocalist in a band, and we played at town carnivals and pool parties. And we had a manager who was in the business, and he gave me the gift of a promotional release of Crosby, Stills and Nash's first album. He said, "This is the next supergroup." So I started to look into who are these guys and their background, and noticed that the cover photograph was taken by this guy named Henry Diltz. It stuck in my mind because many other album covers were shot by Henry Diltz. And I was learning the songs and looking at his photographs. And eventually, my manager came to the band rehearsal and said, "I got tickets to Woodstock. Who wants to go?" I was the only one to take him up on his offer. And we left Saturday morning. We got there in the afternoon, and we didn't walk more than half a mile because he was familiar with the back roads. His family had vacationed up there for many years. So here I was. I have vivid memory of eating my bag lunch and being disappointed that the Grateful Dead were getting shocked and weren't up to par. And I was knocked out by a mountain, fell asleep eventually, to wake up next to a 7-foot mound of trash where my empty bag lunch had been. And I know that Sly Stone was talking to me when he said, "Way up on the hill, throw the peace sign up, it'll do you no harm." I jumped to my feet, surrounded by everybody else on their feet, and threw the peace sign up, was yelling higher back at Sly Stone at Woodstock. And then came Janis, then came The Who, then came my manager tapping me on the shoulder saying, "It's time to go." So we were back by Sunday, and I've never really been the same. We broke up the band, and I traveled across the country. I taught myself to play 6-string guitar. I wrote my first songs. Got another band together in the recording studio. We're getting ready to lay down a couple of tracks. And my engineer says, "You don't mind if my buddy stays, do you? He's going to help me out with a couple things." "No, his name is Tim Diltz." I said, "Tim Diltz? You wouldn't by any chance be related to Henry Diltz?" "It's his brother." Well, I've been friends with Tim ever since that day in the studio. So for all the years since then, I've tried to impress Tim how important his brother's photography was to me. I guess there's a bit of sibling rivalry that goes on in every family. And yeah, Henry does a great job. And so, as it turns out, after my sister gifted me a Yasgur Dairy Farm porch delivery box, I started collecting memorabilia on my own. Was fortunate enough to come into possession of some very unique pieces. When I was talking with my friend Tim Diltz about framing some of these rarities, he suggested if I might like to frame them in wood that he had salvaged from the Woodstock Festival site. We're in your office now.
The shop?
The shop, the wood.
The wood shop.
The wood is crazy beautiful.
Yeah, I have to get really good stuff. I look at 10 barns, I might take one, you know, because it's got to be real clear and unpainted.
I wanted to preface the statement I made before we came up here with the fact that you've been harvesting this barnside wood in Sugarloaf, New York, based here for more than 40 years.
Yeah, about 40 or so. Yeah, harvesting, that's a good word, yeah. There was some midnight lumber supply, but, you know, we won't get into details on that. Yeah, usually I buy it. You know, if the roof's gone, I approach the farmer or whoever owns it. Usually if I get a good barn, it'll last me a year or two. And then I go out and look for some more.
There you go.
But I can buy the wood too. But that shed up in Bethel there was just a total surprise. I was out looking for barns in the countryside there and just happened to pass this little shed behind the stage.
That I found an aerial shot that shows without question that was the closest structure to the stage
it's right
at Woodstock. And it soaked up every note that was played for the entire time, man.
And that one photo, remember, there was some hippies living in there for the festival, and they hanging their clothes out to dry. But when I found it, the whole sides were collapsed. The whole thing was ready to come down. I got maybe 6 little boards from the front. They were long, but they were very thin, just like a clapboard, you know. So what I did was I just, you know, cut it down to like about a 1/4 inch, and then I sandwiched it to some pine, and then the actual wood made the rabbit for the glass.
Point that out.
Yeah. But I got, I don't know.
You can tell without a doubt that's the Woodstock wood.
3 dozen frames, maybe.
Nice.
Of course, the early ones were big. I framed a lot of the 24-36 posters because I had some signed and numbered ones from Skolnick, you know.
Nice.
And then you asked me to consider doing the stuff you picked up.
Well,
it turned out well.
We had met in the studio.
Yeah.
In Chester. I think you were standing in the corner banging on a tambourine.
Frolic.
In a cloud of smoke.
You were in a band, you were recording there or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. It's good fun then, band.
Well,
good fun.
I was shocked when I heard your last name.
Really? Oh.
Because your brother took not only this photo, the first Crosby, Stills, Nash release, iconic photos I looked at every day. I played these records over and over and looked at the pictures, you know, for the credits, for the musicians, you know, and there was Henry Diltz, you know, front and center for so many great shots.
A lot of album covers. I think by then he had, you know, a couple hundred, maybe, because he went through that whole California rock thing with, you know, the Laurel Canyon crowd.
Right.
Stephen Stills and Jackson Browne and Linda Ronstadt.
I'll never forget
Joni Mitchell.
when you reached up into the rafters to give me those old black and white photos.
Okay.
Oh, here's some of Henry's shots.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You know, I had him autograph those for me on the 40th anniversary at the Morrison Gallery.
That was down at...
what a night, man.
That was next to CBGB's down there. They had a gallery there. Yeah, that's closed now. They just have the one in Soho.
Yeah. They're on the second floor now somewhere.
Yeah, they lost the street front. The guy wanted, you know, 30 grand or something. So they're doing all right upstairs. And then they got the one out on Sunset Strip.
Right.
In one of the hotels. I can't remember which one.
And I remember Henry was good friends with Jimmy Webb.
Yeah. They had a very good friendship. Long time ago. Still in touch, of course. But yeah, you know, they almost died together. They were in
In a crash.
in a glider, and Jim was the pilot, and I think Henry was sitting up front, and they were somewhere in the Sierras, and he couldn't get enough lift to get over these mountains.
Right.
He said, "Henry, we're going down," and you know, my brother was filming the whole thing. Well,
Right.
Jimmy put it between two trees and just sheared the wings off so that the cabin was intact. And they knocked them both out, but you know, at least they lived.
I saw an
And
interview.
the film spilled all over.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
didn't get any shots. You know?
But he saved a big fatty from that. A half hour later, they
Yeah, they got it. They got off lucky that day.
really did. Yeah.
You don't walk away from many airplanes.
It's just an amazing story.
Yeah.
I got to
Yeah.
get Henry on board, you know, to
Yeah, we'll get him. We'll get him out here.
I love the interviews that he gave for it's Legends of the Canyon.
Oh, right.
It's a DVD, you know.
Yes.
And
Yes.
at the end of that, he narrates it pretty much for the
Okay.
most part, if I remember correctly. And at the end, he gives this very lucid explanation of the importance of the trips that they took. You know, you know, like I said, I've been researching these Woodstock icons. You know,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Ken Kesey and Owsley Stanley.
Oh, okay.
I mean, before they were officially the Grateful Dead, you know,
Yeah.
they hired them, the Warlocks, I guess it
Oh,
was.
okay. Well, you know more about this than I-
to play at the Trips Festival, and
right.
you know, if you survive what they after Kesey got sent to the farm for 7 months or something.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, he went on a campaign to, you know, try and not backtrack, but explain to everybody that you
Yeah.
know, you can only get so far, you know, through.
Well, I kind of know why you're so, you know, into, or you know, such an avid collector of all this stuff, because you love the history of that whole era, and you have some amazing mementos from Woodstock.
I was really lucky.
The site plans alone, you know, the original site plans that were presented to Town Hall.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that was just a stroke of luck.
I've been in the right place, man.
Yeah.
At the right time.
Yeah,
Salvaged from
sure.
the dumpster.
Hey, we're both salvagers, right?
Yes, we are.
Salvaged and recycled.
Reclaimed
There you go.
and repurposed.
Okay, yeah. We're green before green was, yeah, we're hardly green. But
Tim, thanks for coming up to Bethel.
oh, sure thing, Ted. It's a great day. I couldn't have picked a nicer one. This is about the time the festival was, like in '69, right? August.
45th anniversary
That's
in a
right.
week or so.
That's right. So I'm looking where this little shed was.
Yes.
I believe it was right over here.
Oh, look at that. I think there's rocks left from the foundation.
Could have been, yeah, could have been, because I know it was right in here.
That's where it was, man.
And
Wow.
I was just driving by one day, and this thing just kind of popped into my view. I thought, well, there's some wood. We can make some frames, and, you know, tribute them to the Woodstock site. So
And your brother Henry was the official photographer for
yeah.
Woodstock Ventures.
Yeah. Of course, who knew what it would be back then? Thought it was just a weekend festival. Yeah.
Well, I got a photograph I got to show you.
Okay.
Your brother took a crowd shot down West Shore Road right here
Oh, okay.
and caught the shed
Oh, all right.
that you harvested the wood
Yeah,
from.
is it in that shot? Oh, that's neat. Oh, good deal.
So let's
Okay.
go over to the stage area
Okay,
and
sounds
take
good.
a look.
Yeah.
That was the stage for the Woodstock Festival.
Okay, yeah. I remember that tree is in every shot from '69. It used to be like cut in half with lightning or something. And it's really, it's on the front of the Woodstock book. Yeah,
Let me show you Henry's photo.
that's an iconic tree. Oh yeah, good. What do you got here? Oh my gosh, isn't that something? Wow. Yeah, there's that shed right down here.
There it is. Your brother took that photo of that shed.
Unknowing. Not unknowing I'd get it,
Yeah.
13 years later. What a connection.
And let me show you where some of that wood ended up there, Timmy.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
That would be, I think you know this man.
Yes, I do. I was in the Army with him. Not the same unit, but he was in the same division. Yeah. 62, I believe he was there. Same time I was in. That's awesome, Ted. Really nice, man.
One of a kind, man. Not to mention the 3 blueprints.
Well, yeah. I'm honored that you would choose the wood that we got from this site.
Yeah,
That's great.
It's the only way to do it,
It's a
right?
good story. Do you have any idea what's going to happen for the 50th anniversary?
The heart of the Woodstock spirit is, a benevolent one, and I'm just thinking about donating,
Good.
more than merchandising,
Yeah, yeah. Good for you. Excellent.
Some of these things, belong
The public
for
domain.
the public to see, I really do.
Yeah, sure.
And your wood is right up there, man.
So I'm honored to, be part of that. That's
Off
great.
camera, I'd like to, make an offer for the last of the Woodstock wood that you pointed out up in the rafters up
Yeah,
there.
I do have a little bit up there. It's not much there.
The purpose of this episode is to show the importance of this Woodstock wood and give a hint of the stories I could share with you during the 50th anniversary of the Woodstock Festival. Beginning with experiencewoodstock.com, we developed sister sites. Mud2Museum.com is dedicated to objects that will be donated to the museum at Bethel Woods on the 50th anniversary. WoodstockArtifacts.com has objects, again, that have been salvaged from the festival site. WoodstockArchive.com highlights paper objects that might be framed or displayed. WoodstockZeitgeist.com is a more personal perspective as a musician attending the festival and how it's affected my life. WoodstockSpirit.com will be a virtual tour of this mobile museum I put together and hope to take to current festivals in the run-up to the anniversary in 2019. I'd like to thank you and invite you to join me to experience Woodstock.